Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a brief check-in. Let's check your energy, see what's going on for you this week, and also pull a Sacred Rebels guidance message. So beginning with the soul connections, when two hearts meet, love oracle cards. Let's see what's going on for you this week. Okay, so straight away we have surprise and soul. So you may be about to be surprised. Your soul is preparing to reconnect. Trust in the process. So your twin flame is preparing to reconnect. Trust in the process, and you may be about to be surprised. Plus we have trust at the bottom of the deck. You need to have trust in a relationship in order for it to flourish. So there could be a surprise on its way to you this week. Because your connection is eternal and unbreakable. And the universe is guiding you to that special person, allowing everything to happen as it's meant. So allow everything to take its natural course. And you've known each other before. Top of the deck, we have marriage. A marriage of souls is a union of two divine counterparts blending together. So look deeply within to discover your soul purpose in your relationships. Is your counterpart looking deeply within to discover their purpose and the purpose of your relationship, discovering the depth you may be about to be surprised by the depth of this love. So you're being called to trust. To trust in the process. You're being called to trust. You need to have trust in a relationship in order for it to flourish. So what's our Sacred Rebels guidance message? What do you need to know this week? What does your soul need to know this week? 444 on the counter there. What does your soul? The cards are a bit jumpy. So what does your soul need to know this week? So going beyond normal. So going beyond normal. And we also had after the storm. So what's the bottom of the deck? The bottom of the deck is follow your own rhythm. Follow your own rhythm as you trust in the process. Connect to that divine heartbeat within you and dance. So going beyond normal. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream, or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a juicier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. You could say that the choice is about balance. It is less about choosing to honour either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. Placing science or architecture above all else kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and a complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate the soul. Basing decisions on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with trust, so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly according to plan. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct, and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. There is a time and a place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools to have, but we must be vigilant not to worship them or allow them to quash our less rational but equally valuable decision-making tools. Intuition, feelings, and those things you know without knowing how you know them. The flowing, inspirational energy of the heart may have no conceivable basis in logic or reason and still be uncannily accurate. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science of logic and strict planning. On the other hand, gardening and art do provide us with a plan, albeit more loosely held. This plan still requires us to set aside time to draw upon reliable methods and to prepare with certain tools. Let me just put the charger in a second. Thank you. Excuse me. However, there is also a healthy dose of organic flow, responsiveness, and trust in the creative process of bringing something to life. This brings to the cultivation, no, this leads to the cultivation of the most beautiful, abundant and successful garden and the most vivid healing art. You are being asked to stay open to the intuitive approach in your life, your work, your creativity, as well as in your spiritual journey. The intuitive approach can be likened to the method of a gardener or an artist. There is a sense of what might work out where, and a loose or even a detailed plan, but how the plan is carried out will depend on and respond to the flow of its surroundings. There is no need to control the situation, but rather a desire to nurture an idea to fruition. You may have pressures around you from the world or from your own conditioned nature to do things according to the rules, to a deadline, or to the accepted mainstream view that you need a well thought out plan for success in a commercial venture. However, sometimes the best plan is to do what feels intuitively truthful in the moment and to trust that you are being led towards your own growth. Adopting this approach means you have to do far less planning and far more living. It is a pure and heart-centered way to manifest your art, your life path, and your essence into practical expression in the world. It involves a willingness to be led by nature instead of trying to control the powerful force of life, which is a bit like trying to fit a proverbial ocean in a teacup. It is far more intelligent to allow the ocean to be the ocean and to learn to swim in it rather than trying to cram it into a vessel that is much too small. This oracle brings you a special piece of guidance. You are moving outside of the plan. You are living on the border of what is socially accepted. This is good. This is fringe dwelling freedom. Others might not see this about you straight away, as you seem pretty normal, but that secret, eccentric streak is just waiting to show itself. And maybe you are an out and proud fringe dweller, completely comfortable with this way of being. Either way, this oracle brings you the message that you now have a chance to live from the heart more deeply. How didn't we have a deeply card? Before I lose my place. So you have a chance to live from the heart more deeply and expressively than ever before. It wants you to realise that this is a legitimate, empowered and creative way to live that honours all of who you are. You can give up forcing or squashing yourself down into a very limited set of so-called desirable qualities like intellect and control. If you are yet to relate to this consciously, this oracle brings you the further message that you are going to be breaking with tradition, perhaps not entirely, but at least in a way that is meaningful to you. This will require you to have courage in your convictions and faith in your heart truths. Excuse me. This will help you and inspire others around you to step out of fear and live more freely and lovingly. You are not necessarily meant to abandon logic and intellect altogether. You are to use them to serve the desires of the heart, rather than to replace its naturally spontaneous and truthful nature with controlled planning and narrow strategy. It's time to get a bit wild and let nature take its course. And along comes nature. So after the storm, there's a thunderstorm about. It is either headed your way or just passing through now. Don't make a thunderstorm mean more than what it is, though. You don't have to fear it. You might even feel excitement about it. After all, a thunderstorm is just nature's way of gathering energy together that needs to be released. With a release of tension, relief and freedom soon follow, often with a fresh perspective and perhaps the gift, surprise, of a promising, hopeful vision for your future. Surprise. Perhaps the particular storm building within you or around you is causing you to quake in your boots. It might be a storm of building emotions threatening to erupt or already exploding, seemingly beyond your conscious control. You might feel an uncomfortable sense of emotional or psychological pressure within, and if something doesn't happen and soon, you fear you might just burst. You may also sense that these are forces operating beyond your control, and you would be right. That's the universe. There is, in life and in the creative process, a need to allow for wild storms. There will be those precious moments of peace beforehand and the release and revitalization that follows. Yet the storm in the middle is essential. It is a natural part of the creative process. Without this building and releasing of energy, we would suffer from boredom and stagnancy. You may prefer the excitement of the storm or the fresh, open feeling that accompanies its clearing. You may find it confronting to be faced with the power of something in which you can only participate rather than control. Either way, the storm wisdom offers you the gift of bringing things to a head and clearing them away so that the energy can be freed from a pattern that has had its day and is ready to become something new. Sometimes the pressures that fuel the storms of our lives have been building up for a long time without us being fully aware of it. It might be pressure from our minds creating unnecessary burdens upon us, such as burdens of fear or self-doubt. It could be pressure to appear a certain way or to fight against life out of a mistaken belief that this is a necessity for life and survival. Sometimes the pressure is little more than the impossible dream of perfection and a need to gently or even with great dramatic flourish cast that aside so that you can dare to be what you are and create from your heart. Even if you are not sure what the storm is about, don't lose confidence in your ability to successfully bear its progression until you are safely at the other side of the experience. Even amongst the chaos of change and in moments of anxiety, know that you have so much light and trust in your heart that you can see the storm is but a passing process and nothing that need worry you. If you can't sense the storm yet, this oracle is a portent for you. The storm is coming, and you can, if you wish, feel the beautiful, exhilarating gift of it as you are empowered to cast aside what has been and receive the gift of a fresh, new take on things. Your confidence is to remain intact. Whatever is happening or soon will happen in your life, this storm of sorts is transformational and supportive of your growth. It is going to clear away cobwebs and free you, open you to new creative energy and life. Remember, there can be no rainbows without a little rain. This oracle is also confirmation that if you have been praying for help, your prayers have been heard, and the great creative intelligence of our universe is responding to you, stepping in and shaking things up so that situations can be sorted out according to a greater wisdom. So let go, hold only to your inner self, and allow everything to be cleansed in the sacred storm. Follow your own rhythm. Deep within you are moved by an ancient, powerful force that cannot be tamed. It is the rising pulse of your connection to the life force. You feel it in your bones, in your blood, in your heart, and in your belly. When there is something dying within, you sense it falling away, no longer needed. You sense when it is time to rest and be patiently in transition. You feel the stirring of agitation and restlessness when new life calls you to create, to act, to step forward, and to take a risk. You know that you march to your own beat, that no one else can tell you what your inner rhythms are, and that you must trust in your own timing. You cannot be rushed or forced, nor can you be held back when it is time to burst forth. Life celebrates and supports the natural rise and fall of your inner rhythms. This oracle brings you the special message that you cannot miss what you are destined for, nor will you gain anything by trying to push yourself. Trust in the life cycles within, and you will feel the perfect balance between effort and surrender, discipline and letting go. When it is time for the rhythm of rest, you will feel a natural slowing within and be drawn into contemplation and environments that are more gentle, spacious, or nourishing, and perhaps more peaceful. When the rhythm of play beats in your heart, you will reach out to others to connect, dance, converse, sing, make music, make love, and share your wildness. You will be drawn to uplifting groups and places where you can experience a positive energetic exchange. Your needs will be met in harmony with your own rhythms. All that you will miss out on by trusting this is anxiety. What you will gain is peace. If you have also pulled the inner trust card or feel intuitively guided to read that message now, this oracle has the even stronger message for you, that you must surrender your attachment to doing things the way others think that they should be done, whether that be the hours that you sleep or the way you structure your day or your creative work. You must honour your need for rest and replenishment as well as your need for play. Sometimes an afternoon nap or trip to the beach will do far more for you than slogging away when you are mentally depleted and in need of rest. Sometimes you need to work when the energy is flowing, even though others may say it is too much and you must stop now. You are an empowered individual and you have the intelligence and wisdom to choose for yourself. Experiment with what works best for you and tailor your lifestyle so that it nurtures your best self into being. So let's finish this reading today with this healing process. So say the following aloud. I now release any unhealthy attachment to the structures, routines, and belief systems. Let me begin that again because that messed up. Thank you. So say the following aloud. I now release any unhealthy attachment to the structures, routine, and belief systems of others that are preventing me from accessing and honouring my inner sacred rhythms. May I be assisted through unconditional love to know the truth of my own timing. I love myself enough to give myself rest when needed, to trust in my own timing and not feel forced or rushed. I believe in myself enough to take healthy, inspired risks and action when the timing feels right to me. I trust in my inner rhythms. They are wise and helpful. Through unconditional love, so be it. You may now wish to stand up and close your eyes. Be aware of your own energy. What does it feel like now? What does your body want? Is it to move, to curl up in a ball and rest, or to open your arms and dance around the room with joy? Perhaps you would like to give yourself a reassuring hug. Take a moment now to do what is needed for yourself based on your feelings. If this is easy for you, great. If it is hard for you to know what it is you need, even more wonderful. This means you are open to learning something new about loving yourself, and it will become easier with practice. So I hope you enjoyed this reading today. Thank you again for being here. And thank you for all of your likes, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I do see you and I do appreciate you. So thank you, everybody. Take care. Much love.